The Chengdu Hunters might actually be dead. Along with the schedule for the upcoming spring stage, the Overwatch League announced that the Chengdu Hunters will not be competing at the start of this season. In an official statement by the Overwatch League, they said the following: "Ahead of our season start, we wanted to share with the community that the Chengdu Hunters are not included in today's schedule announcement as they continue to contemplate the future direction of their team. We will update the community further when we have more information to share. For the upcoming spring knockout stage, there will now be 6 OWL teams in the East region, and they will be accompanied by 6 qualified contenders teams." So there you have it. We're entering some unknown territory as the Chengdu Hunters become the first team in Overwatch League history to not have a finalized roster or be competing at the start of a new season. But why is it that we got to this point? Why are the Hunters refusing to be a part of the league? Well, there could be a couple of reasons why, some pretty obvious ones. For starters, financially, they're not in the greatest spot. We already realized that by the start of last year as they were making budget cuts at the last second. They tried to even trade leave. They didn't have the money, and that's probably still the case, but it goes beyond that. It's no secret that most Overwatch League franchises are not happy with the direction of the league, and they don't believe that the vision that they were told is panning out, and they don't think this league is profitable at all, and they're upset. They're trying to have a court case about this that recently got settled, and I'm assuming the Chengdu Hunters were one of those teams that is very unhappy with the state of the league. And with Overwatch China being shut down completely because Blizzard was not able to get a new licensing agreement with the country, you have extra reason to not care if you're a Chinese franchise. Overwatch is basically dead to you as far as you're concerned. Although another thing might actually have to do with stuff going on with Chengdu's parent company. As a source of mine that actually had a discussion with a former employee of the Chengdu Hunters, it was stated that the new head of Chengdu's parent company is basically just sitting on the money and not really doing anything with it. So this too may have to do with Chengdu's inability to make a decision or choose where they want to go next. And let's be honest, with the lack of communication, the lack of profitability, and the fact that Overwatch is already dead in China, they're probably not going to make a move. If anything, the season's already starting, nothing's happened to them, so why make a choice now? Might as well just wait it out and not do anything at all. This is really looking like the first team to ever fold in the Overwatch League, and that's not a good sign. Because you know what's going to happen after this season for some of the teams who also aren't profiting that are still making an effort? They're going to look at the Hunters. They're going to look at what they did and the fact that they folded. Now, for all I know, everything will be fine. Maybe the Hunters will even come back this season or the next one, whenever it may be. I don't mean to be a doomer, but that's just how it goes. This is the kind of stuff that gets people to take action. There's more than one unhappy owner out there in the league. There's plenty of teams who are on the rope right now in terms of their frustration with the communication, the lack of delivered promises, all of that stuff. They're going to look at Chengdu and they're going to say, why don't we just do the same? Let's just get out of here. It's not worth our time. This is the type of thing to get people thinking. It really makes you wonder how many years left this league could have if big changes don't come relatively soon. I just feel so bad for APAC. They already took such a hard hit this offseason, and now they have one less team competing over there? We weren't expecting much from Chengdu this year, but nonetheless, this still means less competition. It's an even smaller region. Thankfully, we have some contenders teams to help fill the void, but nobody can change the fact that the Chengdu Hunters are one of the most popular expansion franchises. Even if they're not your favorite team, there's a good chance that you love them and their history and what they've brought to the league. They've been so exciting throughout most of the years they've been a part of this. So if this really is the end of them, it's super sad. I can't help but think back to the old days, 2019, with Among coming onto the scene as this Chad tank player, bodying Bumper and Goats, being a famous Wrecking Ball, playing the Wrecking Ball Goats, then being that Chad team that would play DPS into the Goats comps, Jinmu with his Pharah and his Hanzo, and then later on you have Leave join the team, and in 2021 he becomes the first ever Chinese player to win MVP and really put China on the map for Overwatch League. The first 4 years or so, they were the Chads of the league. They did what they wanted, they didn't care what you were doing, they were going to vibe, play Wrecking Ball, be the pioneers of that composition at the Overwatch League level. they're always just going to do their own thing. That's what made them so fun, and that's what made them ultimately the Chengdu zone. You never knew what to expect with their chaotic nature. Even if it felt like they were worse than your team, there was always a chance they were going to shock you with a random upset because they're so random and unpredictable and hard to stop. Their legacy has been massive on the Overwatch League, regardless of the lack of championships and only the couple of finals that they've appeared in tournaments. It does not matter just because of their cultural impact and how they largely helped save Overwatch League 2019 when everybody was stuck playing GOATs. Chengdu were a team that people could get behind, both locally and from far and wide. As like a top 4, maybe top 5 most popular expansion franchise, it's gonna feel like something's missing now. There will be a hole that we are unable to fill, even if Chengdu were set to be bad this year. Just not having their name recognition there is disappointing, and it makes me wonder what the future of this league is. I'm gonna pray that Chengdu maybe come back at some point this season, maybe, but I'm not getting my hopes up. If they're not going to be here for the start, why would they suddenly change their mind? Why would you compete late into the season? It makes no sense. I'm not expecting Chengdu to compete at all this year, so let's hopefully just see them come back next year. But even that might be thinking about this situation a bit too optimistically. If I'm being realistic, this is probably the last time we'll ever see or hear of them. We'd be lucky to get any sort of actual update. So for now, all we can do is move on and just enjoy what's in front of us because we really don't know what's going to come next. At the minimum, the Western Conference should still be pretty fun, but the East itself should still be pretty interesting. We still have teams like Dallas Fuel and Hangzhou Spark over there, the rebrand of Philly Fusion to Seoul Infernal, Seoul Dynasty, Guangzhou Charge, Shanghai Dragons, they're all still interesting, and there's some new contenders teams to maybe shake things up a bit. What contenders teams that will be is still a mystery as of this video, but I'll be sure to update you guys the moment that we find out. Regardless of the sadness, Overwatch League starts next week on April 27th. If you want to check out the full schedule, a link will be provided in the description, and I will soon be talking about these matches more in detail next week, so stay tuned for that, as well as some power rankings and a couple of other things very, very soon. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed the update video. Make sure to give it a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to this channel if you want to stay up to date with all things Overwatch League related. Let me know what you think about the new schedule and Chengdu not being a part of it down in the comments below. And until next time, this is ATP, signing out. Peace.